Hi guys, thanks for watching. I'm Shannon. I'm working on my 1970 Airstream, if you haven't checked in before. So I'm at that stage where I'm building walls and stuff like that, getting the bathroom and everything else built. So yay, small steps. Between working on plumbing and stuff, when the weather's getting wonky, I decided to go ahead and start building this, the one wall that's going to be in Mildred. This is the bathroom wall because pretty much nothing from the rest of the Airstream build, kitchen, bed, that kind of stuff, can be built until this wall was established, because this is what's setting my depths. So what I've decided to use, and I've seen a couple options, people using metal studs, which I think is a great idea because it's so light and solid, so we like light, of course. But my wall is not going to be a standard, you know, I'm not going for 4 inches because my Airstream is only 23 feet and a couple inches inside, so all inches matter, right? So I'm using what is essentially sheetrock corners. So these are the deals that go on the corner of a 2 sheetrock where it meets, and then you screw it in, and then you paper and plaster over that, right? So this works great for multiple reasons, in that you can snip the edge or snip one side and it will just curve and meet whatever edges. So you can see here I've got like a little wonky edge where I wanted to put my wall. The actual end cap actually went to here, and it's deeper than my wall, and I didn't want that to show. So on this side it's not going to matter as much. This is my curb side or street side, so it doesn't matter as much on this side, simply because this is going to have a closet that pretty much goes, if I don't go all the way up, it's going to go to here. But on the other side, part of that wall, it will be showing, and I wanted to be able to take the wall flush to the frame. So I've got it started here. It's all just riveted in, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the next step. But basically what will happen is this will match up and will curve to fit in there, and so I can accommodate these little gaps, and then I can cut the wall skin when it goes on to fit that. So I just want to show you real quick how I'm doing that. This is actually the bottom piece that's going to meet on the floor to the smaller door. So I gotta, so that's what that's for. This is what I'm doing. So this is my piece. As you can see, I've got it cut about halfway down. I'm only cutting one side. This will be the side that goes onto the frame or onto the shell, and then you just snip it. These are 10 snips. I'm going about, you know, I vary. I'm going about every inch and a half. It's not the serious science because it's not that hard of a curve, so you're okay. Anyway, so just go on along. This is a 10-foot piece, so it goes over what I need it to, and then I took about another foot or so off, which is what gave me those little pieces, which is great. I think I went ahead and got it. I needed one more, so I got an 8-foot. And so as you can see, this gives me a lot of flexibility for making that curve, and then of course the wood will screw right into this frame. So that's where I am at this point. I'm putting up the wall, or the frame, and then what I'm going to do is I've put 3 blocks of wood together, and so this is going to be basically the depth that my interior wall, inside of the wall, is going to be. So this will be outside, and then I'm just using this as a spacer, and this is what I'll put between in periodic spaces to secure the frame together if I need to. So I've just made a little, I guess, spacer, and I'm just going periodically wedging it between my frame to make sure that I'm even all the way up, and that way I don't have to think about anything, right? And clamping it on. It's a little more time consuming doing this second piece than it is the first, because of course I have to be a little more methodical about where everything is, where before it was just draw a line and go, right? And then drilling it in. Not to damage the rest of the frame while I'm doing it. And then I've got my clecos. Now I only had a set of 25 clecos, so I'm having to do this in separate stages. Or I would have done this all at the same time yesterday. That would have been easier, right? And then that one's, there we go. Some of them got a little bent. over time so they're not all holding perfectly. And then I'll go back through, and once I've got it all clecoed in, and then I'll go through and rivet this to the wall. Now, because of flexibility reasons and stuff, I will probably do this piece from the bottom. It's easier to get this flush against the ceiling as I go along. But when I get down to this part here, because it does adjust as I'm clamping it in, I'm not going to cleco this side in. I'm just going to rivet it as I go, and then that way I know that everything is secure and not too tight so that it can get flush against the wall. So that is this point. Hey, it's day 2. I got everything framed in, the metal part all framed in yesterday. And today I've done the wood frame for the walls. Now I used wood I had, and it was, so the spacing on the wall is a bit of an interesting size. I think it's 2.5 inches deep. I had hoped to use a pocket door, but I don't want to give up any more depth, and having to do a 4-inch wall makes a big difference in like the length of my bed, frankly. So I just used 1x2s that I have, which is technically 1.5 inches by I think 1/2 inch by 1.5 inches. So I don't know why they call them 1x2s, but anyway. So that's built my frame. I've got them spaced out periodically. As you can see, these are 3 deep. And what I did was use one longer one to go between the 2 spaces, and then sandwich these on. So it might be a little bit of overkill, but that sucker is solid. I had everything spaced out, as you can see, like you would a standard framing wall, and then remembered that I want to do a stained wall back here. So because my bed is going to come up to about this height, roughly, or the base of it, this gave me 48 inches this way, so I can run solid piece of plywood. I'll use a maple veneer. I'm going to stain it like I have the ceiling here. So I didn't want to have a seam. So I had to go in and add another one. So that's why I've got a little bit of overkill and my spacing got a little bit wonky. But this will give me a spot to do my seam that'll be hidden, so I don't have to worry about nail holes and stuff showing. And then through here I'll just tack it probably with brad nails so I can not have too much showing. So that is the frame at this point. All finished up. I make sure to leave a little space here to tuck in my wires for my lights. So I've got my bathroom light and this is my other bedroom light here. Probably should have turned that on ahead of time. And then I'll still have a little bit of spacing in these other areas in case for some reason I decide last minute I need to add something else. And then I'm going to insulate this wall. I've got some rock wool left, so more insulation the better, so I might as well. And then concrete board will be on this side because, as you can see, that's where my shower is going to go. And then the bat toilet over there. And then after I've gotten all this framed in, I didn't want to put any more in just in case it was a little tricky getting wood in for building the back counter and framing out the shower. So that's my wall at this point. If you have any questions, please let me know. Happy to answer. If you like the videos and want to keep up with what's going on, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And hit that little bell if you want to make sure you don't miss any of the new videos coming up. So thank you very much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.